This is an advanced word. Again, this is from chapter 7 of David Copperfield, and we talked about it the other day when we read the chapter. And this word lest is something that you put in front of a phrase when you want to name something that you're afraid of, something that you're worried about. So let's see how we can use this in a situation to show what I mean. Here's a situation. John, the company had to train John in the new software. That's our situation. The company had to train John in the new software. Now let's change this from an active voice sentence to a passive voice sentence. In other words, let's focus on John and not the company. John, so let's repeat, I'm going to repeat the active voice again. The company had to train John. The company had to train John. Let's make this passive voice. John had to be trained. John had to be trained in the new software. John had to be trained in the new software. Okay, that's our new sentence. And now let's make a why question with this passive voice sentence. John had to be trained. How will you make a why question? Why did John? Why did he have to? Why did he have to be trained? Why did he have to be trained in the new software? Okay, well, what will happen if John isn't trained in the new software? What are we worried about? What are we afraid of? He fails at his job. Okay, so we can put that word lest in front, and that means, oh, we don't want this to happen. Lest he fail at his job. That's what we're afraid of, that he fails. Lest he fail at his job. Now, notice I'm saying fail and not fails, and that's because with lest, you have to use the simple form of the verb, the subjunctive form of the verb. Lest he fail, not lest he fails. Some native speakers will say lest he fails, but it's wrong, and you shouldn't do that. You should say lest he fail, simple form. It's like to fail, but with no to. So he had to be trained in the new software lest he fail at his job, meaning, oh, we don't want this to happen. We don't want him to fail. This is advanced. This is an advanced word, lest. Now, let's see. Let's try another example with a more obvious subjunctive form. Okay, here is a situation. Lisa had to hand in, that's a phrasal verb. It means like give her report. Lisa had to hand in her report on Friday. Now, let's change this from an active voice sentence to a passive voice sentence. In other words, let's focus on the report. The report needed to be handed in on Friday. Give. Hand in is like give. The report needed to be handed in on Friday. How will you make a why question with this sentence? The report needed to be handed in on Friday. Why? Why did the report? Why did the report need? Why did the report need to be? Why did the report need to be handed in on Friday? Why did the report need to be handed in on Friday? Now, the thing that we are afraid of is if she doesn't give the report, if she doesn't hand in the report on Friday, she is fired. That's the thing that we worry about. That is the thing that we are afraid of. She is fired. Lest she is fired. Now, some native speakers will say that, lest she is fired. But really, we should use the simple form of the verb. The verb to be with no to. Lest she be. Lest she be fired. Lest she be fired. The report needed to be handed in by Friday, lest she be fired. That's the thing that we worry about, the thing that we are afraid of. The report needed to be handed in on Friday, lest she be tired. All right, let's move on to our next vocabulary word, and that is the verb to crave. To crave. Again, this is a vocabulary word that I have chosen from Chapter 7 of David Copperfield.